What's up, e-bikers? I'm here at Pedego 203 in Norwalk, Connecticut, my hometown where I grew up. And I kind of wish this place existed when I was a kid, Mike. But this is Mike, the
Me
owner
too.
here. And how was the season for you, Mike, this year?
Electric bikes are growing. It's been a little bit slower this year than it has
Hmm.
been prior years, but I think that's just because coming off the pandemic, everybody's trying to get out and do other things.
Yep.
But electric bikes are growing. The whole community going from baby boomers to now younger people in high school even I'm selling bikes to so they
Yeah.
can get in and out. They'd rather have an e-bike than a car, which is really cool.
Yeah, I just sold a used e-bike to a guy, and he bought it for his 15-year-old daughter to ride. So
Yeah.
it's good to
It's
see.
happening so much more.
Yep.
So much more. Not to get off on any tangent, but the avenue that you test rode, the frame is so versatile.
Yeah.
The bike that you brought back, I'm gonna actually turn into an SE style bike. I'm
All
gonna
right.
put some handlebars on the front of it that will appeal to more of these younger kids that are doing the wheelies and things.
Gotcha.
See
Gotcha.
if their parents will buy them an
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
e-bike.
totally, totally. Yeah, I showed it to my uncle, and he's a road biker. He goes, "That's an e-bike," because he's surprised it looked like a regular bike,
Yeah.
but it's an e-bike,
My
of course.
personal avenue, I've turned into a gravel bike, so it's all over the place.
Yeah, and we'll get a look at the bikes in a few minutes here after we talk to Mike. But how long have you been a Pedego dealer now?
6 years,
6 years.
and some change. June of 2016, July of 2016 is when we opened our doors.
Were you a bike person before that, or how did this all start?
Crazy enough, the Pedego was never looking for bike dealers or people that were in the industry. They wanted people that were using the product. And I was a mountain biker in California, grew up in Connecticut, but had a bad snowboarding accident and got out of biking and extracurricular activities. And somebody said, "Hey, how about e-bikes?" "What's an e-bike?" I said.
Yeah,
And within a few months, I had a store open.
nice,
It was they changed my life, and I
nice,
wanted to bring that to everybody else in the area.
very cool. Move the camera a little bit. Easier to talk that way, I think.
If you want to get up higher, I have a tripod of my own.
Oh yeah,
If you want to change the angle.
that should work. All right. So, what kind of questions do you get from customers as they walk in the door? What are the sort of top two or three questions you get?
Great question. For the most part, simply enough, how do they work? you know, what is an e-bike versus a regular bike? Because a lot of Pedegos look like regular bikes. So from our brand, as opposed to others, we don't have a large battery on the down tube and things. So we tend to have them a little bit more hidden. So we have to explain a little bit more of what an e-bike is.
Right.
Um, how fast do they go? That seems to be a really big question. How heavy they are? That seems to tend to be the three top questions. The funny thing about the weight question that always gets me, those I don't really care about the weight of the bike because it's got a motor
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
it.
What's the lightest Pedego there is?
Amazingly, the Avenue that you just test rode is our newest lightest bike.
So about 50 pounds.
Yeah,
I'd say.
and well, amazingly, 50 pounds with the battery.
Battery,
So
battery.
typically our bikes are 50 pounds without the battery. So we taking 10 pounds and is a really big thing for the e-bike world, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. How many models of Pedego are there?
Great question. There's been anywhere from 15 to 17 models, different
Wow.
sizes. We've discontinued a few, we've revised a few. We're always making them better. Pedego doesn't believe in a year-end type of model. We're always improving them. If we feel like, we should do this. In the 6 years I've been doing it, just little changes, brakes, chromoly forks, things like that.
Yep. Um, do they come in different frame sizes too, or all one frame usually?
Depending on the bike, we will have different frame sizes. Our most popular bike is the Pedego Interceptor, and the Interceptor actually has has 5 different frame
Five different
sizes.
frame sizes.
We have a 24-inch step through, a 26-inch step through, a 26-inch classic, a 29-inch step through, and a 29-inch classic.
Wow.
We don't call them girls and boys anymore. We call them step throughs and classics.
Yeah, definitely. You have a personal favorite among these?
The new Avenue is my absolute favorite. I just, the weight, the design, the modern feel of it, The ability to change the bike from a mountain bike to a gravel bike to a road bike with just a few changes
Yeah.
is really, really important to me. And I think the price point is where electric bikes need to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I really enjoy riding. I probably would, if I ever bought one, I'd probably put a front suspension fork on there. Just
For
because
sure. Yeah.
around here, there's so many bumps in
Yeah.
the roads. It's
And that's an easy swap out for that because it is a threadless system. So
Yeah.
we can put pretty much any, if you wanted to put, 32 shocks on there, we can do that. It's not a problem at all. Fox shocks, they will all fit on that bike. Pedego always wanted to make bikes that have the ability to be transformed, use standardized parts.
what kind of maintenance tips can you give the audience? A couple of just quick tips on maintaining your e-bike over time.
Yeah, so keep your chain oiled. That is one of the biggest things that a lot of people don't seem to do is oil clean and oil their chain. You can simply soap and water, clean off the chain, and then dry it, and then put oil
Yeah,
back into the system.
Sometimes. Just toothbrush over it.
Yeah, get some of that stuff out of there. The more stuff that's in there, the more the parts will wear. So if we don't have any of the crud in there, it will last a lot longer. And then tire pressure. Tire pressure is a huge thing that not a lot of people check, especially in New England.
Yeah.
Our barometric pressure goes up and down so often. We need to check our tire pressure almost every ride.
Yeah, you see that with your car tires. You get that tire sensor on every winter, right? It's cold out. Your tires are low.
Yeah. I mean, I'll have customers call up and they'll be like, I just bought this bike and my tires are flat. Okay. There's nothing wrong with the tubes, nothing wrong with the tires. It's just the pressure sucks the air right out.
Yeah.
So you got to check it.
Definitely. Yeah, good tips, Mike. Last question, just tell me a funny or interesting story over these years with a customer, maybe on an e-bike. What comes to mind there?
I don't know if I should tell any of those stories.
Hey, this is YouTube, so anything goes here.
I guess my most favorite story is people coming into the store and not knowing how to ride a bike at all. And I've spent hours teaching people how to ride bikes while they're test riding an e-bike. Which is funny because it's actually easier to ride an e-bike than a regular bike because it's all about momentum.
Yeah.
And you can get momentum so much easier on an e-bike.
Yeah.
So it is pretty funny that I've had a few people do that. And one young lady, she couldn't get it. She couldn't seem to understand the process.
It's funny you mention it because it seems like with e-bikes, you're seeing a lot of buyers who haven't ridden in a long time or ever before purchase one, and so it's really interesting to them.
It's a great point, Chris. That's actually one of the things I love about e-bikes is that it's getting people out.
Me too, yeah.
I want to change the name of e-bike to accessible bike because people that have hip and knee issues. That you'd asked me about the funniest story, but my favorite story is I sold a tandem to a couple where the wife of the couple has multiple sclerosis, and the husband puts her on the seat, holds the bike up, gets on, and they go all day long on their tandem because they can. The electric tandem allows them to get out, and he doesn't have to push so much of her weight. And she is the happiest thing I've ever seen riding that bike.
That's awesome. Great story.
Yeah, that's my most favorite story that I've done so far on e-bikes.
Excellent. All right, well, let's take a look around the bike shop here and walk us through some of the...
So this is kind of what I call my used stable. We've got a couple of pre-loved Pedegos.
Pre-loved, all right. It's good.
Pre-loved instead of pre-owned because Pedegos are always loved.
Yeah.
We have our city commuter bike, which is just a hybrid style bike. We have our Interceptor.
This is the best seller you mentioned.
This is our best seller. Yep.
Kind of a beach cruiser.
So we started. Pedego's a California company, so we started with the beach cruiser, and we've evolved over time. But this is our tried and true model.
Gotcha. Yeah, I like the fact that you can put the battery on the back rack. Like very few e-bike companies do that, and I think that's a perfect place for a battery like that.
And with some saddlebags,
you cover it up.
You've now lost the battery, and it looks like a regular bike.
That's awesome. Yeah. To me, that's the best place to put a battery almost.
I think so too. One of the questions I get a lot from people about the battery placement, especially with a hub motor, is all of the weight is on the back of the bike. which I can understand
Yeah.
physically is maybe bad, but it's actually a good thing because with the weight on the back of the bike with the motor, we're not losing any traction. So we have our weight of our body, but we also have the weight of the motor and the battery. So all of the traction, we're not spinning out wheels or anything like that. So we have the longevity of the tires.
Good point.
Again, sticking with the Interceptor, this is just some more models. This is our
big frame on that.
Big boy. This is the 29-inch Classic.
Okay, those are 29-inch tires, guys.
I
didn't know they came that big.
Yeah, you have to be about 6'2" to even start at this size bike.
6'2", all right, so big guys.
We have a Platinum Edition, front shocks, better motor, better torque sensor, better drivetrain. My second favorite bike, the Pedego Ridge Rider.
Oh, that's nice, actually.
This is a 750-watt motor, 48-volt battery, front shock, 10-speed Shimano drivetrain, torque sensor. This is the top-of-the-line Pedego bike that we make. There really isn't, like, if you're looking for all of those requirements, there's nothing better. And this is the one that can be software coded to be a Class 3.
Okay. And what's the price point on that?
This one is $44.95.
$44. And price point on the Interceptor?
Starts at it starts at actually $24.95.
Yep.
And then goes up to $39.95 with our Platinum level.
Gotcha.
So depending on what you're looking for.
Yeah, your price range is basically $2 to $4K roughly.
Yeah. I like an analogy I use is the Home Depot paintbrush, good, better, best.
Okay.
So we have a good, better, and best depending on your budget.
Gotcha. Okay. And what do we have here?
The Avenue that you rode,
yeah.
This is actually
That's
the step-through model. Okay. And then I have some classic models in stock. And then our fat tire, 20x4-inch fat tire, the Pedego Element.
The Element, okay.
The Element is, when it comes to components, other than the look of the battery, all of the components between the Element and the Avenue are the same. The micro shifters and drivetrain, the brakes. So we were able to take all of those components and put it on different frames.
I love those colored rims. That is awesome on an e-bike. I've have one of those and got a lot of looks and compliments on the rims. So that's a pretty cool color combo right there.
When I was riding motorcycles, we used to say loud pipes save lives, but I like to say now with Pedegos,
can you get suspension forks on these?
You can actually get a front suspension on this as well.
That would be ideal. I think those are pretty nice looking bikes, and love that orange. Love the white one too.
What I do with this bike is I put a rear rack on it, front suspension, and change the saddle, and it is an everyday rider.
Yeah, nice and compact too. It's not a long bike. It looks like a good form factor. That's why I said I like this 20x4s.
Yes.
It's just a nice overall size. It's not too big. It's not too small.
They also feel a little bit more powerful, a little bit more zippy, in my opinion.
What's the motor on these?
It's a 500 watt.
500, okay. And battery size?
48 volt.
How many amp hours?
It is either a 10 or a 14. Just like the Avenue.
Yeah.
This is a version 1. So with the version 1, the battery is up top, and the grips are a little different. They're more smooth. Mm-hmm. The version 2, really the only difference is battery below, and we've changed the grips.
Batteries below there. Nice. Well, appreciate the tour, Mike. Any last words for the audience here as we wrap up?
Hello, fun. E-bike. Ride all you want.
There you go. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Check them out at Pedego 203. You have a website?
Yes, sir. Pedego203.com.
There you go. All right, we'll link that in the description. And thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.